Good afternoon. My name is Amy Todd. I'm with Amy's Creative Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I sell all the products I feature in these videos. Today is Fun Folds Day, so I've got two cards for you. One's a little more advanced, and the other is pretty basic. So let's get started with the advanced one. And as you can see, it unties here. This opens up to another message. So it says, just because on the front, opens up to cherished friend. And then this opens up for where you can write your message to your cherished friend. So let's get started with this. I'm going to put this aside and bring in my supplies. So I have a scrap of basic white. I have a card base of Just Jade that measures 5.5 by 8. And it is scored at 3 3/8 and 6 3/4. I'm missing a piece. Hold on a moment. I forgot to cut a piece. So three and 1/8 by 5 1/4. So those are scraps. So let's get back to this. So I have 2 pieces of designer series paper, and I'm using the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper pack. I have a piece of basic white, and all 3 of these measure 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. Then I have another 2 pieces of designer series paper. These measure 1 by 5 1/4. I then have 2 pieces of basic white and 1 piece of designer series paper, and they measure 2.5 by 2 1/4. And that is it. Let's start by folding on our creases. So it's going to go like this. And that bubbles up a bit, so we're just going to flatten that out. So first, we are going to adhere all of these pieces. So let me still have lots of snail. I don't know how I keep coming up with more and more, but I want to use it up so I can get on to using my seal. So that goes on the inside. This white piece is to write your message to your friend or family member. You could, you don't have to make this geared towards a friend. You can make it to a family member. Ooh. That went on crooked. There we go. And this one goes on the front. Nope. Good. One more down. Open up a new one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this, there we go, that goes there. And then these two pieces, one goes here. And the other one goes here. So far we've got this. So that's the main base of our card. Next, oh, I'm missing another piece. Wow, I'm not very well organized today, am I? Okay, let's grab, I forgot the other base. Let's grab this. And this should measure 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. So 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Scored at 2 5/8. So that's scored, that's 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, scored at 2 5/8. We will fold this. I do apologize. I thought I was organized and apparently I'm not. Okay, so let's start with our stamping before we put all of that together. So I'm going to stamp Just Because. And I'm using Magenta Madness ink because that's the pink that's in the designer series paper. So Just Because is the bottom right corner. And Cherished Friend in the bottom right corner. And then that's it. I'm done with the Magenta Madness ink, so I can put that away. And now for the two flowers, these two flowers, I ink them up using our Stampin' Write markers. So I have Just Jade and Bumblebee markers. And I'm going to bring in one of the flowers and color right on the stamp. That was the Just Jade, and now the Bumblebee. And then what I do is I huff on it to re-moisten it. And stamp that like that. Do it again. And the Bumblebee. There we go. Okay. So now we'll bring in the other flowers and do the same thing. And huff. There we go. One more time. So this is a great way if you want to do more than one color. The Stampin' Right markers are great for coloring direct to rubber. I don't have all the Stampin' Right markers, unfortunately, but I do have the In Color family ones, so that's why I chose to do this. Plus, they're the colors in the Designer Series paper. So, there we go. So that's all the stamping for this card. Now, normally cards open this way, but this is going to open backwards. This way. So, just because goes on the outside. And you want it facing the other way. Oh, wait, no. I can't do that yet. I gotta do the ribbon first. So let's do the inside. My apologies. I am okay today, I swear. I don't know where my head is. Everybody has an off day, though, every once in a while. Okay, and then the Designer Series paper. On the first card, I put this here and the Designer Series paper there. I'm just switching it up a little bit, but the message is still there. Cherished friend. Okay, now, before I add this, I want to add this to the card base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a couple strips of snail or seal if that's what you have. And I'm just going to line these two edges up and burnish. And there we go. And now we want the ribbon. So I am using the Whisper White polka dot tulle ribbon. And what I'm going to do to measure is I just hold it on the card, have a bunch of excess off so that I have enough to tie a bow. Bring it around the back. And measure them together and chop it off. And now I can bring this in. And there we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back, so the ribbon holds down. There. Now, let's tie a bow. Hopefully I can do this on camera. And there we go. There is our card. It's our first card for today. So again, you open it, you untie the bow. Oops. This opens up. And then this opens up this way. So it's a very easy fold. There's just a lot of layers and a lot of pieces to it. But it's quite easy to do once you have all your pieces and are better organized than I was today. So, if you're watching, say hi and where you're watching from. And this tulle ribbon, I believe, is carrying over into the, is carried over in the new annual catalog. So, that's good. It's been around for a while. It's a nice basic ribbon. So, that's that card. Now, this card, as you can see, the front is made up of using DSP. And when you open it up, you get to see the back side of the DSP as well. And then I put a strip down at the bottom just to decorate the inside. I didn't want to stamp anything yet because I don't know who I'm giving this to. So once I do, and it's maybe a happy birthday or something, I'll stamp and write a message in there. But for right now, it's just wishing you all the best. And this one's even easier than the last card. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm well organized, more organized for this one. So here are my pieces. I have a scrap piece for stamping and punching the sentiment. I have a card base, basic card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of designer series paper, and this is from the Dandy Garden 6x6 designer series paper stack. This measures 4 by 5.5. I have a piece of basic white for the inside, which measures 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. If you didn't see my video last week, I think it was last week, I showed how to cut cardstock so that you can get 5 pieces out of 1 piece of cardstock. That's why this is such an odd measurement, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. You can get 5 of those out of a piece of cardstock. Go back and watch my video from last week and I'll show you how I do that. I have a strip here that is 1/4 inch wide. This is Misty Moonlight. And it's longer than the card just to make it easier. And then I have when I cut this, I cut it to 4. And then when I cut to 5.5, there ends up being this 1/2 inch strip left over. So I'm using that for the inside. And to start, we actually have to cut a piece of the cardstock off. And I wanted to show you this in the video. So I'm going to take this and measure it at 3 1/4 and cut. So this piece is scrap. You can now save that for another project. And so now we just have 5.5 by 5 1/4, and we had scored it at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to burnish that. And then I have this piece, this designer series paper, and the strip. So what I'm going to do first is the designer series paper. Oh, I just noticed that I've got some rough edges here. I cut this before I changed my blades over for some reason. Okay. So I'm going to put a strip of adhesive along the edge of the cardstock and along this edge of the designer series paper. And I'm going to take this and line it up, and then burnish down. And there we go. We have our card base. Isn't that pretty? And just to finish it off, this strip, we'll just give it a nice detail along the edge. So let's put this down. There we go. And as I said, it's longer, so we'll just snip that off. Apologize for my chair being so squeaky. I want to get a new chair, but desk chairs are expensive. Okay, so that's that. We'll take the basic white piece. and put that in the inside. And once again, I'm not going to stamp on it because I don't know what I'm going to be giving this to, who I'm going to give it to, and what occasion. So, and then to decorate the inside, you can either stamp from the Garden Wishes stamp set, which is the stamp set I am using for this card. And I forgot to mention my previous card. I do apologize. I really don't know where my head is today. The first card I used the Lovely You stamp set. So I did the Just Because and Cherished Friend. So I apologize about that. And then, like I said, this card I'm using Garden Wishes, and I'm using Wishing You All the Best. But if you wanted to, you could stamp one of these floral images in here, and that would be really pretty. But I am just, since I have that 1/2-inch piece of Designer Series paper, I'm just going to add it to the inside. And there we go. So that's that for the inside. And then let it stamp Wishing You All the Best. And I'm going to do that in Bumblebee. So there we go. And I'm going to use the Everyday Label Punch. Sorry, there's a glare. The Everyday Label Punch to punch that out. I just noticed I got a little bit of ink where I don't want it. So I'm going to take my sand eraser, Tombow sand eraser, mono sand eraser. It's number 512A for ink. If you're interested in getting this, you can get it on Amazon. And it basically erases ink. But make sure you get the one that says for ink, because there's a typewriter one and I think something else. And I don't remember what the other one is. But this one's for ink. So you have to do it, though, right away. Have to try to erase it right away. Otherwise, it won't erase. So there we go. And I'm going to use some twine of sorts. This is Mossy Meadow braided linen trim. So I don't know if you can see that. It's not showing great in my video, but it's really pretty. And all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of snail there, and I'm gonna trim that off. Oops. And then some dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. Nice. Is there any comments? No comments. I can see a couple people are watching, so I'm glad to have you here. I hope you like today's projects, and there we go. That just goes right over the twine, and there we go. There's our second card. So they're both fairly simple. Like I said, this one that's just has a lot more layers and pieces to it, but once you get it, it's quite easy to put together. This one, I forgot to mention, I cased this card by Lauren Urbonas. She's my upline. She cased it from Patty Bennett, but Patty Bennett's card was the same size as a basic card. Lauren scaled it down, and I kind of like the scaled down version, but I might do Patty's version of it in the future. We'll see. And then this card layout and fun fold I cased from Lori De Groot. She's based out of Calgary. She's another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So they're both Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and I just really liked these cards. And my plan was to just do the one card today, but when I saw this one and how simple it was, I wanted to showcase another designer series paper. Both of these designer series papers are on the retiring list. I believe they're still available. They were last I checked. And again, that's Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, and which was this one. This is Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, and this is Dandy Garden. And if I bring the other ones back in, this is also Dandy Garden, and this one is also Flowers for Every Season. So, oops. So I hope you liked my cards for today. If you have any questions... Oh, hey, Jennifer. How are you? Not the Flowers for Every Season. It was from the annual catalog. I think that's from last year's catalog. Hold on, let me just confirm that. Yeah, Flowers for Every Season. Oh, yeah, it's from last year's catalog, so I apologize. It has retired. My apologies. I thought it was in the January to June catalog. So my apologies. This designer series paper is retired. I'm really just not with it today, am I? I do apologize. This one is still current, though, I believe. But it only has a few days left. The end of June, this designer series paper will be gone. So, if you really like it, which I do, I'll show you it. It has a variety of designs, and with dragonflies and dandelions and bees, and yeah, you should still be able to get it. So I really thought this was in the January to June catalog, so I apologize about that if it's retired. Anyway, that is it for today. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to place an order and you're maybe not comfortable with doing it online yourself, you can reach out to me at Amy's, no apostrophe, Amy's Creative Wishes @gmail.com. If you would like to shop yourself, you can go to amyscreativewishes.stampinup.net, and just up in the right, I believe it's the right-hand corner, there's a drop-down menu. Just click Shop Now, and you can shop to your heart's content. And I really would recommend going on there now and seeing what is on the last chance list. The last chance list is stuff that is retiring at the end of this month. So you've only got a few more days left. So, there's a lot of great stuff on there. Anyway, that is it. Oh, no, wait. I forgot at the beginning. If you shared this video and you comment shared, I'm going to enter you into a draw. And you can win either the Seaside Shell stickers or the Star Designer elements. And these are in copper and they're self-adhesive. So yeah, if you share this video and comment shared, I will enter you into that draw. And I will do the draw next week before I go live on Friday at 1 o'clock. That's 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, so I hope to hear from some of you, and have yourself a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.